Hello and welcome to Car Mechanic Simulator 2015. Yeah, woo! That's right. I am. Oh, hello! Look, we've got a Mayen M6, which I presumably bought at the auction. I can't remember if I've got anything else stored away. Ooh, a Miavini Urs, which I presume you're going to keep because it's the only one I've got on the list. Actually, do I have a Mayen M6 on the list? No, I think actually I'm starting to reach and thinking, well, if I'm going to fill this garage, I might as well just start filling it. Oh, that's a nice little shelf in the back. It's literally a shelf, isn't it? It's not like a fabric thing. it's a big piece of half-inch thick wood. Right, so this is the project, so let's take it through the usual steps. This will be kept for now. I mean, I might sell it in future. It'll be my lower class kept car, I suppose, because, you know, I don't want an estate car, really. I want lots of fancy fun cars, but my choice has been limited. Oh, I bet I haven't emptied my inventory. Oh, it wasn't too bad, and apparently I have emptied my inventory, so who knew? Well, not me, obviously, and you probably didn't know either, so... Yeah, whatevs. Right, oh, no, don't want that one back on. Oh, that died. Let's remove. I think there's only one part that broke, so every other part that I've got, presumably I have got them, should be fixed. Alright, there we go. So should we just be left with the duff bits, which I wanted to sell, not get rid of. There we go. Oh, missed. I'm going to sell it all. $3. $3. Right. So let's get it onto a lifter and start the important work of removing all its interior bits, apart from the actual interior bits. Good. I've started off being contrary already. So I'm loath to say it's going to be one of those days, because I say that quite frequently. It's frequently one of those days. That's a half-decent air filter in there. Alright, so what sort of engine does an M6 have? I don't think I've dealt with M6s very frequently. Oh, it's got the belt tensioner, there we go. And it's like a V6, or it's not a V, so I don't know why I keep saying V. I always say V in front of like an engine, just because it's used to saying a V, but they're not all V's, obviously. Some of them are straight, some of them are in line, some of them are, I don't know, curly, perhaps. Obviously the curly ones are a lot more rare, you don't hear about them very frequently. I think they're a special Secret Service engine type, so obviously only people who are in the Secret Service know about that. That's why you've never heard of them. Nothing to do with them not existing. I don't know what you're talking about. Good. Right. So, oh, it's got a turbo. Look. Things you didn't know. Well, things I didn't know, or didn't remember, or oh, for fuck's sake. Unbolting the manifold. That's all we need to know. Let's take off the head cover. Whee! And take out your little sparkles. Mr. Sparkle! There we go. Alright, Shaz is gone. Take out the intake manifold. Or, you know, just unbolt it a little bit. And there we are, burying down deep into the engine. Okay, that's as far as we can get without lifting it up. Let's take the starter motor off, always forget that. Brake servo, get all this stuff off. I've taken the battery out already by the looks of it. Alright, so let's raise up the car. We start working on the running gear and stuff, and also underneath the engine. Oh, actually, whilst we're raising it up in the air, I should go and collect the oil buddy, whatever it's called, oil drain. Oil drain you right out. I don't know, but I just can't help putting on a... I have to admit now by saying what sort of accent it was, because obviously no one knew. That was meant to be an Irish accent. Hey, I'll be getting you for that, I will. Oh Jesus. Yeah, okay, accents aren't my thing. Right, so there we go, and there's some bearing caps we can take off here. Process a bit swifter later on. Right. So all this running gear stuff has to come off. Dig through the brakes. And then we get into the... Oh. There we go. The wheel hub bearing not coming off, and then we can take off. Do it in that slightly strange order that always catches me out. Although obviously I have to take off the sway bar link first. There we go. Yep, and then the tie rods. And then of course your favourite part. Gotta finger out the bush. Yeah, it won't come out on its own. Oh, I can't take the ND hello? Radiator out at this point, because of course you have to have it on the ground for that, for no particular reason, but whatever. You've got to make it as simulatory as possible. Sway bar. Oh, I can't take the sway bar off without taking the wheel off. That's wevs. There we go. Let's take the brakes. Yeah. And then we've got the axle. And then we need wheel hub bearing. And then we take off the wheel hub. There we go. And then we can take off the sway bar link. Okay, and then with the suspension-y stuff off, we continue getting rid of the knuckle. Oh! Oh, I've got the tie rods to take off, of course. Slightly not with it today. I'm not feeling too bad, but all my friends have got, there we go, well not all my friends, but a lot of my friends have got some sort of illness at the moment, and you do kind of wonder if you're going to get it yourself. And I'm a little bit runny today. My nose, that is, not me. I don't do running. But otherwise, not too bad. A little bit bunged up. Right. Okay. So this is the. Oops. That's the clutch and gearbox removed. So that's the engine all ready to be fiddled with. So let's do the. Oh, let's do the rear of the car. Got that exhaust pipe, there we go. Right. So, rear end. Now, I haven't mentioned it yet so far, but for those of you who haven't experienced my dull 30 episode rage, ever since it wasn't a problem before I changed my environment. One of the features in the game, I'm going to call it a feature in the loosest sense of the word, is this toolbox. Nope, not that toolbox. Is this step ladder, where you can customise your garage. That's it. So I've changed the floor stripes from yellow and black to orange and black. But unfortunately, that just showed up what a cheap-ass texturing system they use. It's not a live texturing reflection that they've gone for. They've pre-rendered all the reflections. Or something. I don't know. I don't know much about maths. What? Well, I don't know much about maths. That was my point. Don't know much about programming, I was going to say. In my head, that conflates to maths for some reason. Anyway. So there's probably some technical reason why it can't be done, but it's much easier and better. Well, I say better, much less resource intensive. Obviously, not to be doing these things on the fly. But it's just a bit of a shame, because, you know, I mean, you can't see the reflections of this chocolatey nonsense, but It's just a bit weird when especially when the customization's a bit limited and it costs you experience. So it's not really something you can do early on in the game. Well, you can obviously, but it sort of penalises you because you need the experience to unlock like diagnostic tools and what have you. So it feels a bit mean that it costs experience, and then of course when you do pay your experience for your feature, you notice that it's not really been very well implemented, so it makes it slightly less enjoyable. Anyway, it's not like I've gone on about it every single episode since I've changed the floor stripes or anything. Yeah. Why is that not wanting to come off? Oh yeah, it's the little bush. Got to finger a bit more bush. There's more bush fingering than you can, I don't know, shake your stick at. Oh god, that sounds terrible. Right. And of course the classic line would be, well, I can shake my stick at quite a lot of... anyway. Good, right, that's all I removed. Let's just leave that conversational gambit there. And now it's time to yo-yo the engine. This is my vague term for the bit at the end where you have to put the engine up and down to get all the bits out. So, having had it up in the air to relieve the oil pan, we can now put it back down and get rid of the pistons and con rods with a little yellow and black reflection in look. And then we need to raise it up again in the air so we can remove the crankshaft. Yep, there we go, that's removed. Make sure it does actually go away and I've not just clicked badly. And then we bring the car back down, and then we can use a special crane. Yep, you see? So we use a special crane to take out the engine. So there we go, everything removed from the Mayen M6. So now it's time to repair it. And by that I mean click lots and lots and break some of the parts. Now some of these won't go back on the car anyway because they'll never... Actually I say that because I assume I can't try and repair something that isn't repairable. So actually all these parts probably can go back on the vehicle. Yeah, anyway. Just filling up time by talking into the void. Okay, lots of breakages at the end. There we go. Oh, one final breakage. Right, and then we just basically stick it all back in again. Blip, 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 blip. So, see how much of this we've got. Yep. All these tiny major parts can be fixed. Oh, that's the bit I haven't done. This is the usual procedure I go through now. So once I've done all the repairing, I'm going to sell all the junk, which is the stuff that I broke. And then we're going to sort this by condition and just sell everything that isn't 100%. I don't need to use all 100% to put back in the car, it's just the choice I've made. And it's probably a bit more expensive, but it's not like I've stopped and worked out the economics of it at all. It's just the way I want to do it. There we go. And now we can continue without the problem that I had then where I think I've got a piece to put in and actually it's a duff piece that I didn't want to use. So now I've got no alternator parts. That's fine. Okay, so the next stage is to stick it up in the air, see if we've got any major suspension-y parts, and then basically just start rebuilding it anyway. So, oops, click first. Hello? Why can't I click in here? Oh, I've managed to put it on assemble mode already. Excuse me, click and then assemble. So we've got a front suspension member. That's good. Alright, yeah. Oh yeah, it's coming together already. Suspension arm. As I was hinting at, some stuff you have to buy because it doesn't get fixed. You can't fix, like, you know, you can't repair rubber parts or bits that wear out. Like brake bits, brake disc for instance, you can repair that at home. And I don't have any repaired rubber bushings. So we need to buy some bits. So first off we have to buy some rubber bushings. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 2 of those. I can't remember if we need anything else. Steering rack, front sway bar. Lovely. So what do we need here? We need a front wheel hub. And some nuts. Oh, we can put in our bush as well. Insert bush. Oh, missed. There we go. And one final bit of bush to finger. Alright, so we'll need some innie and outie tie rods. We can't put the upper suspension arm on yet for some reason. We need to do this, don't we? Front springs. And need the absorbing the whole lot, so caps. So there we go. Alright, and then we can put in a sway bar front end link A. Sway bar front end link A. There we go. I've finally clicked on it. Right, so still can't put the upper arm. Maybe there wasn't an upper arm. That would, you know, deter me from being able to put it on. Wheel hub bearings and axles, of course, that might help determine that. Wheel hub bearings. We can't put the axle in the X-Ram, we get the gearbox in place, right? Okay, it's starting to make sense anyway. It's I was going to say inebriated brain, but I've only had a bacon sandwich, it's not, I mean, it is exciting. I wouldn't necessarily say I was inebriated though. Yeah, who knows, maybe that's the secret of bacon, that's why everyone loves it. I say everyone, you know what I mean. People who like bacon love it. Obviously people who don't like meat aren't going to like it. I know you're out there. Right, so we've got some exhaust sections. We can do front exhaust section turbo. Let's do that. Front exhaust section turbo. Yeah. And then we've got what? Cat and a middle muff. Cat and a middle muff. And move down the thing. An exhaust pipe. And some sort of muffler. A rear muffler I4. Okay, big one here. Chunky. Alright, there we go. Some knuckle housing. Yeah. Oh, actually bolting this on too? Is it nothing? There we go, rear suspension cross member. Rear suspension arm. Oh, we need two more. Oh, it's not the. Yeah, okay, two more rubber bushings. I had a feeling we need more than 4 of the main ones, but I couldn't remember for what. I forgot we had these control arms, whatever they are, suspension arms. There we go. It's the complicated suspension of the rear end. So I need to pop in that little tiny bushing. There we go. I seem to have a lot of this anyway that we don't need to buy, which is awesome. So I need to buy the spring for that. Oh, we need 4 rubber bushings at the back. I thought it was only 2. No, I say that. I haven't even bought enough for that. So 1, 2, 3. That's because we need them for the control arms as well. So I need another 1. Just buy that now while I'm in the right place. Alright, so. But meanwhile, so we've got a rear sway bar A and some springs. Rear sway bar A, springs. Alright. Sway bar, spring, and cat. We've got some sway bar rear end link biddy-biddy-biddy-biddies. There you are. Slightly strange because they're so small on the car that when they're so big in the list here, it's sometimes a bit confusing. Right, so is it A's? Thank goodness for that. It's embarrassing when you buy the wrong bit when you're not concentrating. So that's all that side. Okay, let's recreate that on this side. So yeah, all that, lovely. Oh, rear suspension arm. Lovely. A little bit of bush for that. There we go. Shock absorber. Various arms. A big bolt. There we go. And then sway bar. A little bit of fingering. And suspension on there. There we go. Okay, we'll hubcap cover thingamajigs. 2 of. Oh, and don't forget this bit. Car will feel wrong without that. So, we'll hubcap. So we've got a fuel tank, which I don't think they ever get fixed. All fuel tank. I need one of those. Fuel tank. Possibly a fuel pump too. Yeah, they very frequently get fixed, but not always. Usually when I don't check. Then you end up with lots of them. Okay, good. So that's the rear done, apart from brakes. So going up the front again, we need to, we've got an oil filter we could pop on. Oh, crankshaft we could put in. Crankshaft bearing caps, all sorts to do. All sorts to do. So we need a crankshaft bearing cap and an oil filter I4. So oil filter I4 and a crankshaft bearing cap. Alright, so how about a gearbox? Let's do some of that. Gearbox, we need a flywheel. Clutch pressure plate. Bolty bolt here. And then the gearbox, lovely. And then we can attach the steering rack and axle. Was it drive shaft rather than axle? Drive shaft. Oh, we've got the axles too. Quite a lot of this repaired alright, isn't it? It's relatively unusual for it to be so good. Hurrah! Okay, so that's all that, and then it's probably time to put it back down so we can get at the underneath, the above rather. So we're going to need some pistons and conrods, that's one of the things we're going to need. Pistons and conrods, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So, piston. Cover up those horrible, unsightly reflections. Yeah. No, in my luck, it's probably some fucking option that I've chosen on. What? Oh, head cover I4. Engine head cover I4. Engine head cover I4. You know, one of the graphical tune options is to sort of not worry about reflections as much, or do not do them on the fly. I haven't looked at the graphical options for quite a while, to be honest. After only just getting this thing to run smoothly. That's a matter of opinion too. Fuel rail DI, awesome. Intake manifold, I4DI, intake manifold, I4DI. Screwy bolt, bolty bolt. Bolt there. Right, that's all the bolty bolts done. Oh, you've got a turbo to put back on as well. Turbo. Turbocharger, oh, that's okay as well. Grand. Yeah. There we go. That'll cover. Yeah. Starter. Yeah, that's something I will often forget. So alternator, that was the thing I needed to buy. Alternator. See how many clips we've got left? Just the 3, as usual. I didn't notice whether they're A's or B's either. Let's assume they're A's. Oh yeah. Right, so I need cam gears. And a timing belt presumably. Yep. Timing belt. Timing belt. And then the cover. Yeah, we got that. Awesome. And then all sorts of crankshaft pulleys and things. Crankshaft pulley I4. There we've got an idler roller A, and what's this, water pump I4, we've got that. What about a water pump pulley? No, don't need that, just an idler roller A. Idler roller A, and then, oh, bolt it in. So then we've got serpentine belt. Serpentine belt A and B. Belt tensioner, of course. Alright, that's that all done. Awesome. Right, we've got this. ABS pump, yes. Module. Oh my word. That's some sort of magic spell on the repair bench today. Alright. Oh, I bought one of them. I was going to say I won't have a battery. Won't have repaired that. Okay, radiator fan. That's not the end of the world. RS. Radiator fan. Oh yeah, 4 spark plugs and some rocker arms or whatever they are for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then what are these? Ignition coils, okay. Ignition coils, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, they don't have to be wired onto anything, which is unusual. It's wireless technology. Right, so is it just the brakes left? That seems... I was going to say it seems unusual, but to be honest, by the time you've done everything else, that's usually what's left. So I don't need to rise it up to do this. So brake disc ventilated. Brakes. 2 of those, 2 of those. Well, I should have bought the pads as well, shouldn't I? 4 pads. So whether we need the calipers is the question. So I've got 3. Let's see if we've got the 4th one. Very modern yellow and black reflections on it. Alright. The news on the calipers is yes, we've got enough calipers. Have we got enough wheels? Is the next question. Yes, we've got enough wheels. So yeah, the repair job did a really good job. The repair, what do you call it? Stuff. The repairing we did. There we go. I've got a verb for it. Has worked out quite well today. One of the better repair jobs, I have to say. I've not had to buy as much as normal, it seems. So we just finish off doing this, and then we'll check to find out what it is I've forgotten, like the oil. Oh no, it's still the oil pan, isn't there? I haven't done that yet. So we're not completely finished yet. And we've got the bodywork to do too. So, oil pan, also still good to use. Pop some oil in, admire the shitty reflections. Yes, I will go on about it for a long time. Alright, here we go. Oily oils. That's the way you call the oil. The oily oils. Alright, so let's double check what we've forgotten. The list, she is good. Right, now we are keeping this, but I'm not particularly bothered about... Oh, well, let's have a look at the fancy bits, I guess. Oh, it's not really. Tuner's shop, here we go. Body. So what have we got? There's an M6, is it? Let's double check that. I don't want to buy the wrong bits. I'm not particularly interested in buying the right bits. Right, okay, M6. Oops. Oh, stupid fucking... Right, so... These 2 bumpers. Yeah, sure, let's buy that. It's a lot of money. Let's go with A. How about A? Oh, that's quite exciting. What did we go with for headlights? Hey. Alright. So, fancy nonsense headlight. Fancy nonsense headlight. Oh, I've got the hood as well, I don't want that. Sorry, bought a fancy nonsense hood. Okay, the bumper's okay, so we need a front right. Oh, we're not doing that, we're doing the fancy bits, I remember. Fancy bits! We've got all these good bits, now we're going to replace them with strange fancy bits. Did we go rear bumper? I can't remember. Yeah, I think we did actually. Fancy. Did we get a front bumper as well? Part of our body kit. We did. Alright. That's quite nice, I guess. Alright, so normal bits now. Oh, we want rims. Oh, I don't care about rims. I care about rims. Modern. No. Is this all the rims they've got? I thought there was more than these. I don't care about the rims. Right, so yeah, that's what we need. We need bodywork. So, bodywork M6. So we need a front right fender. What else do we need? Either of these doors? I'm sure we had one of them. So left doors. So left and left. And a trunk. There we go. It's almost a shame not to put the things on it, isn't it? No, not really. Okay, and then we're going to spend some money on making it a nice colour, because you know can't save any money. So let's make this bright pink. There we go. Paint. Yep. Garage. There we go. Perfect colour for a moody looking estate car. Vibrant purpley pink. Alright. So there it is, look. And just so we remember, we'll cover the Meviniers, which will be our project for next session. So there it is, looking all green and mini SUV-y. Right, just so that we remember, let's sell all this stuff. So we start with a clean bill of inventory, and then we'll see you tomorrow for the next episode, or indeed whenever you can join us next. Good day.